Everybody's heard of Saravali, right? Saravali. Saravali has, I hope this is the right chapter. Everybody look at your moon. And look at both your moon and your lagna. And see, in each sign that it's placed, what is the amsha of that sign? Okay.
You mean in the Vargas?
No. Okay, for example, if my moon is in Aries, in the Rashi, but it's in Leo, in the Navamsha. So that means it's in the 5th amsha of Aries. You're following that?
You do that?
Is it 3?
Can I pull a chart up for that?
3 degrees 20 seconds for?
If you look in my book, in the nakshatra section, I think it's in the nakshatra section. There's a chart, and in the petals there's numbers.
Okay.
You found it?
Well, here's the nakshatra section, but which?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Which bit?
Page 289.
Okay.
So you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's representing the. You can count the petals in each sign.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
You mean the padas?
The padas. The padas relate to the navamshas.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
there's
you're
4
saying-
padas in each sign.
So amsha is equal to pada in this context.
No, in all contexts. The nakshatra padas.
Okay, so
Okay. How big is a nakshatra pada?
So it's 3 and 3.
3 degrees 20 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. 20 minutes, yeah. 3 degrees 20 minutes. Are you seeing that, Fer? You got a book there?
Yeah.
so
Can you hear me back there? You sure? Because if it's hard, sit up front closer. What? Karaka is that which significates. Like the moon represents milk, represents mother. So moon is karaka for milk. It's karaka for mother. Sun is karaka for father. It's representing, signifying. Yeah. And karaka literally means the one that's doing for, the doer of. Yeah.
So what are you asking us to
Okay, we're getting there slowly. I guess I gotta step back a little bit. I'm like, give me the amsha, amsha, division. Division. Like navamsha, 9 division.
Right, thanks.
Huh?
Okay, I got it.
okay.
9th division. Or saptamsha, the 7th division. Okay. So when you look at this chart, if you look, each pada, the nakshatra is 1320, and it's divided into 4. That equals 320. The Rashi, divide it into 9. When you divide 30 into 9, what do you get? Huh?
320?
320. They're the same, right? Exactly the same. Why is the Navamsha so important for the sun signs and the Pada so important for the nakshatras? And if you've read my stuff, you should know.
Yes, I know.
Why is the Navamsha so important for the Rashi and the 4 Padas so important for the nakshatras?
The sun.
And how can you remember it? Can also mean, yeah.
The four padas are the directions that your mind is going, right? In each pada.
Okay.
We go with
The goal.
go with the goals, yeah. Kindness. Okay.
So is it the direction but also the goal or the mind in this particular lifetime?
So, the Rashi or the sun sign relate to the sun, right? The sun is for Dharma. It's all about Dharma. What's the purpose that we're here for? It's about the soul. Where do we look for the soul and the purpose of the soul? When we want to see the soul and the purpose of someone's soul, what do we look at?
The Karka.
Where? In the Navamsha, in the ninth division. It relates to the ninth house of Dharma. So when we're looking at the sun, we're looking at the Navamsha in the ninth house and the ninth house division. The moon, we're looking at the direction of the mind. The mind has 4 directions that it can go. The 4 Artha, Kama, Moksha. Which one did I leave out? Dharma. Okay, so it has those 4 directions. And who's the Karka of the 4th house?
The moon.
The moon. Okay, so the moon's nakshatras are divided into 4. And the sun's signs are divided into 9. When you divide 27 by 4, what number do you get? No, 27? But when you divide the zodiac of 27 nakshatras, and they're each divided into 4, it's 27 times 4. Huh? 108. When you take 12 and you divide 12 signs into 9, how many parts do you get in total? 108. So the sun signs and the nakshatras overlap with the number 108. So it's showing the mind and the soul. It's that vibration where they're interrelating. And there was an article, it's online on my website as well as in Jyotish Digest. There's all kinds of astronomical significations where the sun is 108 times from the earth. Like it's its own diameter. All kinds of strange things. And it's the same with the moon from the earth. 108 times its diameter. It's very interesting. So not only is it showing up here in the chart, but it's actually showing up in space. And I heard that, and I was like, that sounds shady to me. So I went, looked at all NASA's data, rounded everything off, averaged things together, did the mathematical calculations, and I was blown away. So that's what's in JD, is my mathematically actually adding everything together and proving it. Okay, so we all understand that. So the Navamshas and the Padas are the same. There's no difference. There is a difference in how we're utilizing them sometimes, but relatively that portion is the same. So it becomes very important. It's the 108 divisions throughout the sky. Sometimes when I explain Navamsha to people who, if I tried to explain that you divide the sign into 9, I say, well, you can divide the sky into 12. Or we can divide it into 27. Or we can divide the sky into 108 little parts and see where the planet was in each of those parts. And that's what I'm looking at. That's what I tell them. And that can make sense, because it's very, they can make sense of that instead of dividing a sign and recalculating and doing all that math. Okay. Yeah. So you can look at this to calculate. What Saravali has is he gives the effects of all 108 Navamshas. And Eric and I were playing with this the other day, and I thought it was fun. So I figured we'd do something fun, right? It's always fun to check this stuff. It's on page 790 of the, whatever translation this is, let's see.
We're volume 2.
Ranjan Publications. Yeah. Kalyana Varma. 790. So, I myself, my moon in the Rashi is in Aries. In the Navamsha, it's in Leo. So that's the 5th Amsha of Aries. Okay, that's how this is done here. So effect in Aries of the 5th Navamsha. And this is used primarily for rectification. And you utilize the moon as well as the ascendant. So the 5th Navamsha, the native will be fierce, will have eyes resembling that of a supreme elephant, a fat nose, thick eyebrows, wide forehead, and coarse hair. I got a wide forehead, don't I? Pretty thick nose.
Yeah, you see. I like the eye part.
Looks like an elephant.
A fierce elephant.
Okay.
Can you pick up things with that now?
But it's pretty accurate, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we look at we look at the moon, in general, the moon and the lagna, whichever is stronger. Or you can utilize both and integrate the two. My lagna is in Gemini, in the Rashi. Okay? And in the Navamsha, it's in Libra. So which Amsha of Gemini is it?
How do you calculate that?
Fifth. It's in Libra. Fifth. Look again.
I'm totally missing something. I'm sorry. I'm looking at. I don't get how you're calculating the answer. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
What do you?
Okay.
Or is it on the jump drive?
I don't think it's on the jump drive. So maybe you'll have to look a little closer here.
You start at
So-
Gemini?
There's Aries. So look, here's Aries, right?
Okay.
If I follow this up right here, I'm going to take it to 9 right there, if this goes across. So in Aries, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 paths.
Right.
This is Aries to Sagittarius. If I take this up, but then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then divide down right there. You see how that lines up? So there's 9 Amshas in Taurus. Those Amshas are, though, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, then Aries, Taurus, okay? So those are the signs, but do you see how there's 9 there?
Okay.
So for my moon, it was in Aries, in Leo, right there. So that's the easy one. It's 5, the 5th Amsha. But now my lagna, it's in Gemini, in Libra. So if I divide this right there, right? So Libra, if we look, is actually the 1st Amsha. You see that?
So then would you say 7? Or would
No,
you
it's
say
1. It's the 1st Amsha.
The 7
It's the
there
1st
is Libra.
Amsha of Gemini.
Gemini.
But the 1st Amsha of Gemini is Libra.
Libra.
Okay?
So the 7, is it how you tell the sign, but then you count it?
Is that the number of
Is
the
it the
sign?
7? I couldn't quite see.
Number of the
Go
sign,
up
what?
to 7? We'll just have to look at it.
Yeah, do you see how that's divided there? So that first, there's 9 in each, and 7 just means Libra. But do you see how it's just counted zodiacally? So the 3rd, if we look, the 3rd Amsha of Taurus is Pisces, and the 4th Amsha of Taurus is Aries again.
I thought that was a quick one.
It just starts over. 1, 2. If you follow the numbers, you see how it's going.
Yeah, I see. So you take the number that corresponds to the Rashi. 12 is
We're look at the
Pisces.
moment, the way this is written, the way Kalyana Varma wrote it, was he's just listing the amsha, the
So
sign
1, 2,
division.
3, the third amsha of Taurus.
That's
is
easy.
the 12th sign.
Partially.
But every 9
Every 9, because the Rashi is divided into 9. It can only divide into 9.
Right, but it starts over where you're beginning.
For us, you have 9 amshas of Aries. Then you have 9 amshas of Taurus.
Right.
But of those 9 amshas, the first 3 are Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. The 4th one starts over again at Aries. So the numbers on that zodiac are representing the sign, but we gotta calculate which division it is of the sign. Are you following?
Every 4th 9 it starts over.
Every 9 is a different sign. One Rashi, a sign. A sign is 9 amshas.
Right. But every 4th one.
But every 9, then we're in another sign. So then we're at the first one of that sign. So look at Aries. You see 9 amshas there. And because it starts with Aries, it's really easy because those numbers match. But then look at Taurus now. The first amsha of Taurus is what sign? It's 10. Capricorn. So the first amsha of Taurus is Capricorn. The second amsha is Aquarius. So if I say that my moon or my ascendant in the Rashi is in Gemini. So look where you first go to Gemini there.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I say in the Navamsha it's in Libra. So you can go up and you can see which amsha it is.
Okay, I can figure that out. But what's the thing about this every 4th line? Every 4th.
No, so go up, you see that's the Rashi, go up to the top level, the nakshatras. You see the nakshatras, there's 4. There's 4 padas in each nakshatra.
Oh, okay.
That's where the 4 is. And with the 4, there's a whole nother number system. You think you can take another number system? Fern, you ready for the nakshatras?
What's that?
Those padas have different numbers for the nakshatras.
They have different numbers.
Uh-huh.
I get it.
No. So, yeah, hold on.
Pam, looking at Cancer.
Okay.
It looks like in your diagram the first amsha of Cancer Rashi is a 4.
Yeah, it's Cancer.
Okay. So then Leo's the second amsha, Virgo's the third amsha, and Libra's the 4th. So, okay, what I'm trying to figure out is a degree. So it would be like 0 to 320 for the first amsha, and then to 640, and then 4th amsha. You know what I mean? Is that how
You can do it that way.
Okay.
You can do it mathematically. That's another way to do it. Right now I'm giving you a visual way to do it.
Okay.
I'm giving you a way that you can look at a chart and bam, know exactly. Because when you're rectifying a chart, what we're trying to do is, because what I'm about to read, I want to go through and look at some. It works perfect for me. I want to see how well it works for some other people. And this is not something you play with too much in readings, unless you don't know the chart. And I'm not going to start using it until I see it actually working. So I get to try it all on you. But if you think about it, she's not paying attention.
So how would you know?
So mine are both in Taurus.
Tap her on the shoulder.
Oh.
So if you think about it, you see, we could do it by degrees. But let's say you have somebody's Rashi right, their Lagna Rashi right, and you're trying to get that Navamsha Lagna. You're not caring about the degree of the Navamsha Lagna. I mean, you could sit there and look at the degree, but you're looking, is it a Libra or is it Sagittarius? Or you're trying to figure out which it is. So that's why I'm trying to get you used to the sign, to be able to look at the sign and understand really quickly.
But if I know my Lagna is at 12 degrees of Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what I'm saying. Okay, it's 12 degrees of Cancer. So if I look down here,
Your lugnas, but what I'm trying to do is show you a quick way to use this diagram. And you could sit there and do the math and divide it up.
You don't know the exact birth time. You don't know what the degrees of the rising
Yeah,
sign
but
is?
no. If you do or you don't. Even when with you do, I'm showing you a little bit faster way. Because it's already calculated for you. Your Rashi, Lagna, is Cancer. And the Navamsha Lagna is Libra. So if you look at Cancer, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth Amsha.
Right.
Or you can do the math and calculate that 12 is the fourth Amsha. If you're better at math than you are at visual, then maybe you want to do it number-wise instead.
No, I saw that, but I was
Are you
trying to
following?
figure out if you already
No? Well, don't be... You got it, right? Okay. Don't be afraid to ask. And your moon's in Taurus and both. Okay, so for you...
For me, I go to Taurus,
Uh-huh.
and then what?
So you're in the fifth... You're in the fifth division.
How did you get
Are
the
you at
line?
the end of the very, very
Because it starts at Capricorn, right?
Why should I keep? Oh, because that's Taurus.
Because that's the fifth Amsha.
Totally got it.
It's easy, right? I'm trying to give you guys an easy way, and everybody's making it harder.
I can eyeball it.
So if like she was just saying,
Yeah. You can look this up easier.
okay, she went from, but you always start Cancer to Libra.
Cancer to Libra. Okay. So this is Cancer. And when we look up there, that's 7. 7 represents. Okay. And which Navamsha is it? So everybody look. His moon is in Leo. And what is the Navamsha of your moon? So his moon is in Cancer, Navamsha. So what Amsha is that?
Fourth.
Okay?
We got it now.
Everybody get that? Okay, let's look at them. The native will have ash-colored body akin to ghee. Large and black eyes. Soft hair.
Feel it, Gail.
Peculiar voice. Big hands and legs. Let's see the hands. And stomach resembling that of a frog. Does it make noises?
Oh, okay. Maybe that's okay.
Yeah? No, but stand up. Let's see your legs. Do you have long legs? No bigger than...
See, relative to him, relative to
Relative
her,
to you,
long.
yeah.
You think they're bigger than him?
Yeah, because his legs are a little bit longer than his
His hips
torso.
are high, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're short-waisted, or high-waisted, whatever they call it.
Hold out your hands.
His hands aren't big, though.
But he has
Aren't bigger
another planet in the same,
With the
Sign.
moon.
same Navamsha, I think, right? Because he has,
Maybe his ascending's stronger than
he has the moon.
Yeah, well, look at both.
Yeah.
He has moon
This is experiential learning.
He has
Yeah.
moon K2 and Lugna in Cancer Navamsha. So there's other influences
Mm-hmm.
there.
There's K2 there.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Lugna. So that your ascendant is what sign in the Rashi? Okay, so Capricorn. And your ascendant in the Navamsha. Okay.
What is it?
Cancer.
In Cancer.
Capricorn. Capricorn, and then you go to Cancer.
So what is it? Which Amsha?
7.
Okay. So Capricorn.
Do you like to sing? Yeah. Okay, so it fits. Fits right. He likes to sing.
Why? Lagna's a
I
Shravana?
still like it. I never did.
Why did you ask him if he likes to sing, Gail?
Because moon in the Vamsa Lagna or enshrined in the Vamsa Lagna, the person will like to sing. And so that's a way to rectify the Navamsa chart. And you'll have a good singing voice. Not only do you like to sing, but you'll have the voice of the moon.
Okay. The native will be dark in complexion, be indolent, be an eloquent speaker, be short-haired, big-bodied, harsh in disposition, will possess soft hands and legs, be intelligent and virtuous.
He's gonna let us know.
Yeah. Maybe you can lie.
I think that fits. I think that fits him actually a little bit better.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I think that's the one
So
that
is
really.
his Lagna stronger? Because is there any planets in the Lagna?
Yes.
Which?
Rahu.
Rahu.
Rahu's in the Lagna, and there's anything conjunct your moon in the Rashi?
And the Lagna's Capricorn?
What do you have?
Puja.
Okay, one.
The moon is in the 8th house in the Rashi.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so the Lagna's taking over.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for you, Gail?
Okay.
Your moon
Moon is
in the
in
Rashi.
Aquarius. And then it's in Sagittarius in the Navamsa. So it is in. We'll have everybody look at it, should I say?
What's the Amsha?
It's the first Amsha.
Third
So-
Amsha. Third Amsha.
For the moon, it's in the first pada.
Third Amsha.
No, but
Hold on, the moon is in Aquarius. In what sign in the Navamsha?
Sagittarius.
Third.
Three.
Shadabish.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Third Amsha.
Okay. The native will have a compact body, limbs sticking close to each other, be fond of females, or, the opposite sex, will possess the splendor of lapis lazuli, be learned in the meaning of the Shastras, and will act accordingly.
Love men.
that's nice.
It's true.
Compact limbs, though.
I think I'm pretty short. My
Okay.
legs are short, my arms are short.
Let's look at your Lagna.
Okay, so the Lagna is
The Rashi.
Gemini. And it's in Aquarius.
What's the Amsha? Okay. You ready? The native will have a broad face, strong chest, and big head.
Oh, he does have a strong chest.
Yeah.
Be cunning
Can't beat
and
that one.
possess charming and friendly looks.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I always have a smile.
Cunning.
Is that the Lagna?
No, it's the marketing
Is
thing,
that the
you
Lagna?
know? How are we going to beat our
That's the Lagna.
competition? That's the
Yeah.
Lagna.
I think that one fits
Oh,
very
that's strong too.
Yeah.
They both seem strong. But her moon
I
is
think
very
the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
the light.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
What is your Rashi first?
Moon, I mean, the Lagna.
Let's do moon first.
It's Scorpio.
Scorpio. And your Amsha?
That's
Or your sign?
Scorpio, and no, I'm saying.
Scorpio and Scorpio. Double Scorpio. What's the Amsha?
Fine.
The native will be majestic, will possess copper red eyes, depressed nose, be courageous, proud, will perform fearful acts, and be famous and will have a strong physique.
Copper red eye.
Yeah.
There is there is a brownish component in that.
in her eyes.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. I'm not thinking red, but there is this. brownish.
Majestic copper red eyes. Depressed nose?
No, I might
Oh,
be
you see
red.
it?
Your nose doesn't have a, courageous and proud? Do you do fearful acts? No? Okay, what's your Lagna?
Scorpio, then.
Scorpio?
And the non Lagna is Libra.
Libra. So what's our Amsha?
Fourth. Sorry. Yeah.
But do you see
It's
how
3.
easy this is to use once you get it? It makes it a lot quicker than the calculations.
So just to know what it stands for.
You have to have your birth information.
Yeah. But when you're rectifying, you generally have an about. Fourth, the native will be intent upon being with others' wives or husbands. Will induce others to be active, be valorous, dark in complexion, dark-haired, and dark-eyed.
Still needs to be rectified.
Yeah.
Still needs to be rectified, huh? So let's look at the one previous to it. The native will be learned, will have strong shoulders and arms, and beautiful hair. Will be endowed with clear speech, fair complexing, and charming lips.
He gets that one. I said we have to rectify your chart for your Navamsa Lagna.
And I don't get what I don't. This it says he is born a virgin. Oh no, he is born of a virgin.
Oh.
Is your mom very
Little
pure?
difference in grammar there.
Yeah. Was she pretty young when you were born?
What? Not pure.
No.
Artificially inseminated?
No.
But she's like a righteous,
Yeah, she's
pure,
very
spiritual woman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But do you see how this is? We're using this to as a. I mean, first we're looking at the skills and abilities, but sometimes even that gets a little. So anything extra is always good to help.
Yeah. So you looked at the one before or the one after?
I looked at the one before.
Before.
If we look at the one after, it's the same as her moon, which we already saw.
Okay.
Isn't
Then it would
doing
be
much
like a kind of a double indicator.
of that, and then it's not the case.
So if it really was true, that first one, you maybe think your legend might be there too.
Well, it might still
That's a
say
good
Okay.
rectification tool.
Yeah, well, if it works, I know. That's why I want to see how well it works. And the other thing is, when it says compact body, what's that mean? We look at Gail and we understand what that means. So what it says and what it means, our understanding, we have to utilize that a little bit. Who's next? What's your moon Rashi?
Taurus and then Gemini, so it comes up to the 6.
Taurus. And so, everybody see that that's correct? The native will have beautiful eyes and hair, be firm and endowed with a fair complexion and physique, will speak sweetly, be preeminent, be fond of amusements, be skinny and skillful.
Oh yeah.
Almost
Yeah,
all of those.
Skinny
That
skill.
sounds.
That's, you know,
Yeah.
the first thing it mentions is your eyes too, so it's, which is a very prominent feature.
Yeah.
What it's trying to do is it's trying to mention the prominent features. You know, some people like compact body, nice lips, eyes, legs and hands, short hair. It's kind of giving us what is it that we're going to be able to look and be like, okay, this has to be the Navamsha. That
And
was-
Lagna is Capricorn and Taurus, so it comes up 5.
Capricorn. The native will have a prominent neck and belly, will enjoy pleasures, be attached to the opposite sex, dark in complexion, round knees and arms, and will attain successful beginnings in their undertakings. Round knees?
No, but I mean, I'm pretty successful and
Yeah.
certainly have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not married.
And you
had
have a
plenty of men,
your
so-
neck is slightly prominent too. You have a
But
an,
she has a
a long
prominent
neck.
neck. It's very
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Very
So
beautiful.
both seem to really work for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that.
Say what?
I was just saying your niece, you were trying that, but there's a
Well,
sweater.
Yeah, it's where I wouldn't say
What
you're
is that?
around. Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know what it means.
Okay,
But
Mo.
I'm skinny,
But
so-
you have square
Yeah.
shoes?
So my moon is in Leo,
Huh?
Rashi, and then Libra.
Moon is in Leo.
Yes, in Libra.
And Navamsha's Libra. So the Amsha is. The native will have a long face, be muscular, will have a prominent physique, be unfortunate in the matter with females, dark complexioned, hairy bodied, harsh in speech.
Everything. Every single one is right.
Don't worry, don't need to rectify you. So
Okay.
that was moon, right?
So that was the moon and the lugna.
Lugna's Pisces and Rashi, and then Leo.
What's the amsha? Everybody agree second? Is everybody calculating this now and understanding
Is
it?
it Leo?
The
Yeah.
native will have a big nose, be skillful in his assignments, will eat meat and the like, be endowed with charming physique, will wander in forests and hills, and will have a big head. I think the first one.
I think the first one is better.
Yeah.
Better.
So you see, some people it's hitting the lugna, some people it's hitting the moon. So it's all about looking at which one is going to be giving the stronger effect. Ready?
Moon is in Aquarius in the Rashi, and it's in Pisces in the Amsha.
So the amsha is the native will have a face resembling that of a tiger, be bold, will have unchanging aims, will kill living beings like a tiger, deer, snake, etc., and be dear to the king.
You a hunter?
Mushroom hunter.
A face resembling a tiger.
And eat meat and the like.
Huh. What's our lugna?
Sagittarius in the Rashi, and Aries in the Varsha.
So first amsha is the native will have charming big nose.
Charming.
Is it charming?
It's big.
I think that's a translation
all?
error.
Will possess sight akin to that of a goat.
2020.
But what's a goat?
What's
Sight.
a goat's
That's
sight?
not very good eyesight.
They don't
Yeah?
have-
Goats are supposed to be really smart, so maybe they have their eyesight.
One of those things that unless you raise goats, you don't really
Yeah.
understand.
What did they mean back then?
Well, if we knew about goats. Be a gifted speaker, will have charming teeth and hair, be fair in complexion. Will have inset testicles. What are inset testicles? Is that
Probably means
they don't drop?
Yeah.
Non-descendant.
Doesn't fit.
No.
Maybe your chart needs to be verified.
Let's see. The next one, the native will have a prominent head, be firm in disposition, will have large eyes, strong waist and nose, strong waist and knees, a funny looking nose, tall stature, and firm cheeks.
That's closer.
Oh,
That's the one after. Yeah.
So he would be,
Tall stature.
Tall stature, firm cheeks, large eyes.
so he'd be a Taurus
And he
in
had-
the Amsha?
It would be in a different pada.
And we'll go one back. That was one forward. One back is the native will have, well, that goes into a different sign, so. Interesting.
Are we looking at the moon or the lugna here?
That was, we looked at the moon and it was so-so, and then that was the lugna. The moon said he looks like a tiger and acts like one. So,
My moon is the Pisces goat and then the Varanasi and the
okay. So, that was the last amsha,
Yeah.
correct?
Or no, what is
the ninth.
Nine.
No, but the ninth, the last amsha, which is the ninth amsha.
Right.
The native will be short, soft in disposition, courageous, broad-chested, broad-eyed, big-nosed, be bright, have a broad physique, be intelligent, virtuous, and famous. It says a lot about being broad, and you're not that broad.
How about yours?
Yeah?
What size?
Very beautiful eyes.
I am short in stature.
Short, soft in disposition.
Yeah.
Courageous?
Yeah, I'm very courageous.
Yeah?
actually.
Broad-chested.
I don't know about that.
Broad-eyed. Big-nosed.
I have a big nose.
Yeah.
So,
Bright, broad physique, intelligent, virtuous, and famous.
I don't know about famous.
What's your lagna?
Scorpio, and now this is where it would be interesting to see.
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
He's Sanjay says it's Cancer. Which would
Okay,
be-
let's go with that first.
Okay.
The first one?
So it's first, yes.
The native will be short in stature, will have prominent lips and nose, charming forehead. I can't see your forehead. Strong and fair complexioned body with belly akin to that of a frog. Will act as a marriage broker. Do you, like, what is it? Somebody who,
I have done
matchmaker.
a couple matchmakes, but
Yeah?
it really worked out well.
Uh-huh.
But not that many.
And what was it? It goes
The other
forward
one
or
would be-
backwards?
It would go to Leo.
So
it would
forward.
be 2.
The native will be fair in complexion, will possess strong and broad chest and shoulders. Reddish eyes, will overcome their enemies, be valorous, and will have abundant hair. Conquer your enemies, overcome competition.
I'm not that competitive,
I
but
think it's in Cancer.
it's
And
probably the first one.
Reddish eyes?
I don't know reddish eyes.
They don't get-
I'd say the Cancer's probably more accurate.
Your stomach, you have a stomach like a frog?
It makes noises.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know what that means.
I know my stomach doesn't make noises, so.
Yeah, mine can make noises.
Yeah?
I don't know.
And I gotta not eat for a few days or something, or eat something really bad in order for my stomach to make a noise.
Really?
Yeah.
But does a frog's stomach make noises?
I've never listened to frogs.
You think it's, what do you think?
I would think it makes
They
sticks
balloon
out.
out?
You know, a little bit in the belly.
I think it means that you eat a lot. Or tendency to eat.
You can eat anything?
You see, that's one of the things of, like, you see, it says like a frog, we look at a few people that have it, and maybe we can figure out what it means. That's the,
What did they mean back then?
yeah.
And this
Fern.
charming thing, I think it's a mistranslation as well. It must mean something else. Like it must mean maybe a size or a. It's got to be a mistranslation.
Maybe wearing lots of charms.
Charming forehead. Okay. You ready, Fern?
Okay, so the moon,
Mm-hmm.
the moon is in Capricorn and the Amsha is Virgo.
And so the Amsha is,
Amsha is fifth.
it's the last one, right?
Virgo.
Or is that,
Maybe
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I guess it's the last
Oh, wait, sorry, yeah, it's the last one.
if it's the last one is,
Nine.
exactly. So the 9th Amsha, the native will have a broad chest and large eyes. High intelligence, fully developed face. Interest in music. Be endowed with sweetness and strength. Be gentle and diplomatic.
I'm not, I mean, I like music, but I'm not that interested in it.
Mhm.
Really diplomatic.
And that was the moon. Let's look at the Lagna.
Okay, so that's the Virgo to Taurus for me would be the fifth Amsha.
The Lugna's in.
So Virgo, and what's the Amsha?
The fifth.
Everybody agree? The native will have large lips and hands, big body, broad chest, strong ankles, and will depend on others.
Not a big
Yeah.
body.
Why do they have big
Not big
hands?
hands or big body.
Mhm.
Yeah, doesn't have a big body for sure.
What's the degree?
My
Lagna.
it's 14.
14. So if we looked back one, 4th Navamsha, the native will be learned, will be sportive with the fair sex, be beautiful, sweet, blood red in complexion, sharp, intelligent, skinny, and will have charming eyes and face.
It's better.
Closer than
That's
the
better,
other
yeah.
one.
So are you going to talk a little bit about how this works with the rectification process? Like, is it the timing with all? Like, if one of the...
Before I even, this is not something that I've used too much. I'm really testing it on you. You're learning at the same time I'm learning with this. I mean, I know how to use it, but how good it works. Like, frog in the stomach like a frog. Can I actually use that to rectify? So far I haven't gotten faith in it. Maybe we just don't get it yet, but we're sitting here applying it and seeing how well it works, and can it help us or can it not help us? And we see so far we've maybe gotten 4 hits that were just like, yes. And then we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're number 5. That's like, eh. So we're on a 4 yes and 5 maybe not really so far.
But does that mean then that the people who are like, not really, that maybe their birth time are...
Could be the birth time, and it could just be that, this is a bit archaic for us to really break like a frog's stomach, sight like a goat. They're kind of things that you need to do some major research on goats and how goats see and even if you do some scientific research on it, maybe you're not getting what the guy who actually herds goats knows about a goat's eyes. They're almost, to me, goats' eyes are scary almost. If you ever looked at goats, they're really just, you can't miss them.
But sight like a goat is different than what the goat's eyes look like.
Exactly. So...
Yeah, is it like a frog's stomach or like a frog?
Does it sound like a frog? Is it looking like a frog? Is it eating like a frog? So...
Or is it a stomach like how a frog has a stomach?
Yeah, so these are things that we need to, in this old text, understand. And just by sitting here and saying them and reading them and looking at each other, it helps us begin to understand.
Well, we know that probably the three of us have rectified charts.
Huh?
Like Pamela, Mary, and I, we all have rectified charts.
Yeah. Well, even Mary's was, it wasn't...
The moon was actually pretty right on.
Yeah, it was pretty good. About 50% of what is said was accurate. The other...
It was more than 50.
And yours was right on.
Mine was right on. I wouldn't sit there and call you broad. I mean, you might consider yourself broad, but I wouldn't sit there and say broad.
You really mean she's a broad?
You're pretty medium. I think you're pretty medium frame.
Well, she has a petite frame, but it could be
But
broad
I do
for her
have broad
petite
Yeah.
frame.
shoulders for a petite
Frame.
frame.
Yeah.
I do have.
Like, Gail, I would say, is broad. He's broad. There needs to be that larger bone structure there to really say broad, in my opinion. But,
A lot of the other circles were
Yeah.
Next.
You ready?
Sure. Okay, my moon, both in the Navamsha and in the Rasi, is in Taurus.
Okay, so that makes it Wachamsha.
What?
The native will be vicious. Will have a well-elevated nose. No, it's not really. It's kind of going down more than up, right? Yeah. Will appear like a giant ox. Definitely not. Will have crooked hair. You got curly hair. Yeah. Will be sportive, large shoulders and hips. So you don't have large shoulders, hips, and you're not like an ox.
Maybe if
Fierce
we had
cricket
lived in
hair.
those
Alright,
times,
what's
though,
the
we would
first
have
one?
eaten a lot
Fierce?
more.
Maybe if I was a guy, it would be different.
And the first
Still,
one was fierce?
huh?
Fierce was the first one?
Fierce, vicious.
Vicious?
You say vicious and she giggles. I mean,
She's married to a tiger.
Yeah.
I know, maybe these guys are hiding something that we don't know about, right? So let's look at your lugna.
Okay, so that in the Rasi is Virgo, and in the Navamsha it's Leo. So
So which one, Amsha is it?
is it 8? I didn't look at it.
The native will be very beautiful, fair in complexion, tall in stature, charming eyes, honorable, and will have long and stout arms, with brown hair. Brown hair? You got brown hair? Long arms?
I
You have
kind of,
long and stout arms.
It's not
Stout.
tall.
Stout would
I don't
be.
have
That
stout.
would be
The one
heavy.
thing I
Yeah.
don't have is stout arms. I
Yeah.
have, like,
Is
the
stout
skinniest
short?
arms.
Is that short arms?
That means broad.
Like
No.
thick arms.
Long
Thick,
and
yes.
Thick
stout.
arms?
I don't know. It's tough. I kind of.
It fits better than the first one.
I don't know. Maybe huh?
The one previous to it, what's your Lagna degree?
11 degrees, 25. I don't know.
25. So we went forward. The native will be famous, will have charming physique, broad eyes, incomparable vigor, be skillful, stooping shoulders, and a learned writer. Stooping shoulder.
I have stooping shoulders.
Yeah?
You write, don't you?
Yeah, you're looking at this.
Learned writing.
I have written. Poetry. Used to.
Oh, learned writing.
Learned writer. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Hmm.
Another
Another hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard one.
That's how you do it, isn't it?
This is true, right?
Is
Yeah.
it writing
I do a
based
lot of
on
writing.
research and
Yeah.
knowledge, or just journaling kind of writing?
Writing based on
Okay, that's learning.
So if we take, what was the your Navamsha Lagna now?
Vamsha Lagna is
It was
it's fine. It's Leo.
it was Leo. So if we changed it to Virgo, what are in trines to Virgo?
Virgo. So it would end up being. I would change it to a 6, and then it would be a 9.
Now somebody look over her shoulders.
What planets are in Capricorn or Taurus in your Navamsha?
Capricorn. Taurus.
She has the Sun and Mars
Do you have her
and
chart?
Venus in trines, and Saturn in trines. So she has Venus, Sun, Mars, and Saturn in trines to her Navamsha Lagna.
If she changes it.
Oh.
Now what's now and what's if we change
Now
it to
it's what?
Virgo?
Is that a Leo?
Yeah. So it's Leo.
Okay, so we're changing it to what? Virgo.
To Virgo.
And
Okay, so
change
Sorry.
So what? Which one?
Okay,
North.
So here's Virgo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She has Rahu and Moon in trines
Rahu and Moon and trines now?
to the
No,
Virgo.
if you change
to the
it,
Virgo.
do you like to sing?
Well, the thing is, when that Rahu's with the Moon, it won't be as
It won't be
like
as
it.
singing.
No, Rahu's not with Moon.
It'll still be singing, but there'll still be
Different
singing
kinds.
ability. But
Different
when
trines.
Saturn or Rahu is there, and even sometimes Mars, the
Yeah.
person might not like it.
People
It
say,
just-
"Oh, you got a good
This
voice."
we're
but
Maybe
actually-
something like that. But
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
and Saturn particularly, when Saturn's with the Moon, the person is trying to sing.
Mm-hmm.
They like singing, but there's this delay in stage fright. They get in front of people, and Ketu is
No,
math.
that's Multi with
Oh,
the
Ketu with the
trines.
Moon?
So if
It's
this
more
were your
psychology.
first house in the Navamsha,
Understanding the mind, emotions,
this would be
It's a
the-
very psychological
so
combination.
What do we change? It's Leo now, and then
So
looking at
that's
it
what
being
they're
Virgo and
talking
trines.
about.
It's Leo, and then we got Mercury, Sun, Venus,
No,
Sun, and Mars
Mars.
there with Saturn. Venus
Saturn.
is dancing, Sun and Mars. I don't
Music
know.
and-
Do you dance, sing, write poetry, make music? Do you play an instrument?
I used to do all those things.
Yeah.
I teach Qigong.
Yeah. And you teach Qigong. Okay, so that looks more correct.
Yeah.
So this is not really giving us the good.
So
So it's not. It's
So
the same
the-
as it was.
Yeah.
the Leo would be her.
We're not going to change it. Just that's a good technique, but this is giving us. This is more refining that. We're not going to take this as primary.
So how much time did that change? Time? How many minutes?
What?
How many minutes did that?
Well, she was. What's your Lagna degree?
No,
23.
No, no. I want to know. What's your Lagna degree?
25.
25. So it's 25. When's there going to be the next change?
Is it 4 minutes? I don't know.
2 degrees and 20 minutes.
320, 320, 320, 320.
Okay.
Where's 320 fit in there with 25? You wanted to get degrees, so you gotta. You see me. You see how I asked the degree, and then I went either forward or backwards.
Kinda, yeah.
Look at that 25. So with 25, where's 25 fall in there? We're gonna move on to Jane's though, but I want you to figure that out.
God, this is math for me.
It's around the
You're
8th
good
class,
at
so
it.
it goes into the 9th.
But what's the degree?
That's how it is.
Well, that's the important part. It's all divisible by 320. So what are the 320 factors?
So,
And which one is it falling closer to?
Right.
so you're saying every 320 degrees is going to change in
The Namsha's
Navamsha.
changing, yeah.
The Navamsha Lagna will change.
Exactly.
It's 320 degrees.
Exactly. So if you know your 320 divisions,
Okay.
which is what? 320. Then what's next? 640.
640, okay.
Then 10. Then 1320.
Okay. Okay.
1640.
Then 20.
20. 2320.
2640.
2640. So she fell in between 2640 and 2320.
Okay.
And at 25, it's leaning more towards 20. Okay? Do you
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Following that kind of.
Huh?
Thinking, you have to be thinking and understand it, yeah.
But it's easy, right?
Once you practice it a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay, let's move because then we got some good stuff. You ready, Jane?
Okay, Jane.
Sure. Do you want the lugger?
This technique is losing steam here for me. So
My lugna is in Virgo as...
go moon first.
Okay, moon is in Gemini, and then in the Navamsha it's in Aries, which is the 7th Amsha.
7th Amsha. The native will possess copper-colored physique, copper red and prominent eyes, and a broad chest. Be skillful in teaching and arts, and be jocular in disposition. Skillful in teaching. But do you have copper red eyes?
a broad chest.
Doesn't have a broad chest at all.
The eyes,
I have a
can
broad
see the
back.
coppery eyes.
Considering that I have kind of skinny.
Your vata. When it says broad, it's talking about a kapha.
Right.
It needs to be that kapha bone structure.
But yeah, I studied art.
Yeah. And you teach. What's the give us the lugna.
The lugna is in Virgo in the Rasi and also in the Navamsha.
Vargotama lugna. And so which amsha is that?
Is
Is
it the first?
it the first?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 9th. It's the last one.
When will the Vargotama be the first amsha?
Aries, if it's
4 times it can happen.
Cardinal sign?
Cardinal sign. So that's what?
Yes.
Aries.
So the first of Aries is Aries. And look so you see it. The first pada of Aries is Aries. Do you see that? The first pada of Cancer is Cancer. Visually see it.
Okay, there.
The first pada of Cancer is Cancer. The first amsha of Libra is Libra. The first amsha of Capricorn is Capricorn. Okay? So that helps speed things up. Now what happens if when we go to Taurus, what's the first amsha?
Capricorn?
And what is Capricorn relative to Taurus?
Earth sign?
Trine.
Which trine though? It's the Earth trine.
Yeah, the Earth trine.
Okay? When we go to Gemini,
The Earth trine.
Oh, it's Libra, it's the air sign.
okay? When we go to Leo,
It's Aries, fire.
You mean the water sign? Oh no, Leo?
it's the fire trine. But if you notice, which trine are they taking? Which trine does it end up being?
The one before it.
No, it's the cardinal.
Oh, it's the cardinal trine that goes
Cardinal.
first.
Yeah,
Cardinal. You guys got me. Chara.
yeah.
But do you see how the chara sign of that element is starting each one? And when it gets to the actual chara sign, the chara sign starts itself. This is almost like
Makes it faster.
geomancy math or something. It's the magical way that it all lines up.
Right. Did it do that? Is it with the mutable too? Is it
No.
cardinal fifth?
No.
It's just the cardinal 35th?
Everything. Look at our cardinal. You just said with the mutable. So we go to the mutable, Gemini. Gemini begins with what? Gemini is what sign? Air sign. What's it begin with? Libra.
Cardinal.
It's the Chara is the Sanskrit. Cardinal is Chara. So it's the Chara air sign.
Okay.
Let's go to the other mutable sign. That's Virgo. Virgo is what? Earth, right? What's it begin with? Which is the Chara earth sign. Of earth, of that element.
Right.
If we go to Sagittarius, so it's the Chara fire. And our last one is Pisces. Okay.
Leo. They're all taking care.
It's all. Each one starts with the Chara sign.
Oh, the chart.
Yeah, each one is starting with that cardinal sign of its own element. It's almost a way to remember it.
Yeah.
So we did Jane? We're on you, Sue
I
Ann?
don't think we did the second one.
Oh, we didn't do your Lugna? Okay, that's right. I was just. Why would the. Yeah. So we're ninth Navamsha of Virgo. The native will be famous, will have charming physique, broad eyes, incomparable vigor, be skillful, with stooping shoulders, and be a learned writer. So, I mean, that's the one that we were debating about for you. The ninth Amsha.
Yeah, like a couple of,
Famous,
the
charming
shoulders
physique,
and
broad eyes,
writing and
skillful,
the vigor, yeah.
stooping shoulders, learned writer. So what would you say percentage-wise? How much is it? 80%? 75?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You ready, Sue Ann?
Moon is in second Amsha, Gemini.
The native will have a pot-like head.
A what?
You're a pothead. It says it right here. Look, the native will have a pot-like head.
Pot-like head.
What kind of pot are
They
they
knew
referring
she was
to?
a pothead. I mean, thousands of years ago, they
Never
knew.
have been a pothead. Really, I mean, other things, but not
Will
pot.
do dirty acts,
Oh,
be fond of torturous deeds, will have a depressed nose.
yeah?
No.
I've
Not
What
de-
is a depressed nose anyway? Flat?
I don't know. I
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen.
torturous? I gotta write these down.
To me, just my interpretation off the top would be one that points down, because it also said raised in one of them.
Raised.
So that would be that.
Right.
So
Well, you
Um,
do the martial arts. I'm sure you've beaten a lot of people. So.
Torturous.
will speak much, will work hard, and will lead in strife and quarrels.
Will what instruct me?
Will be a leader. Will lead in strife. When there's problems, you'll be a leader. Pot-like head.
Maybe like a vessel that can be filled with knowledge, a pot. Like
No, I think they're talking
That's
referring
good,
to
I
like a
like that.
specific.
I think they're talking really the shape.
of a
Yeah,
pot.
they're very specific. It's very shape oriented here.
That's why I think the frog is the shape of the belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the goat eyes.
Yeah, they kind of have
Like
that
a goat.
slit thing in them.
Your ascendant.
It's the fourth Amsha, Cancer.
The native will be dark in complexion. Will have pressed eyebrows. Will be graceful in appearance. Charming eyes and nose. Courageous, liberal. Will perform acts prescribed for superior caste men and be crafty. So it means you do things higher than your caste.
Yeah, like Jyotish.
Pressed eyebrows.
Hey, what is pressed eyebrows?
Just maybe it means prominent?
They're not curly?
Not prominent, maybe. The breasts are probably not prominent.
It says prominent nose?
Cute nose, no charming nose.
Charming eyes and nose. You got charming
very
eyes. I don't know
charming.
about your nose,
I think your
though.
nose is charming.
You think it's charming?
I have a pug nose.
Yeah.
I think it's charming.
say as I get older, I
You
get less liberal, and it changes with time.
Yeah, you live in California,
By
so
default, I'm
you're
liberal.
by default you're liberal. Okay,
Okay,
Amrita.
I think Podhead goes with me back.
9. The moon is 9th amsha.
Of what?
It goes from Cancer to Meena to Pisces.
Cancer.
I think it's 9.
And what Navamsha is it placed in?
And Pisces.
In Pisces. So Pisces in Cancer is which Amsha?
9.
Last one.
Okay. The native will be fair complexioned, will possess eyes resembling a fish. Be great, be soft bellied, broad chested, will have prominent chin and lips. You got a prominent chin. Large but weak knees and similar ankles.
Definitely the knees. I don't know about large but weak.
Large but weak knees and similar ankles. And your lugna.
Well, so it goes from Leo, and then it's either Sag, Scorpio, or Libra.
I'm gonna go with which one that you have.
Huh?
So it's Leo, and
Leo.
which one are you using right now?
Sag.
To Sag,
So that
which
would be
is
9, I think.
the native will have a face akin to a donkey's. Will possess dark eyes, long arms, charming legs, and be troubled by breathing disorders.
Long
No
arms.
breathing issues?
Yeah.
Do you have breathing disorders?
What's the one before?
I don't think he would like a donkey or
Eyes
It's a
like a
fish.
fish. Eyes
think
like a
so.
fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, eyes like a fish. I've seen
Would be
people
like-
with big,
Yeah.
fishy looking eyes.
Widespread eyes,
Yeah, much
like an
fishy
eye.
eyes.
Oh, widespread.
Or bulging eyes.
Yeah,
Or
that's-
bulging.
Yeah.
that was my first.
Yeah.
The one before it, the native will be endowed with excellent speech, firm limbs, charming, majestic looks, be poor and crafty. So you like that first part, right?
Well, I did like the second
Yeah,
part, the poor and
downhill.
crafty, because it's kind of true.
What would you say crafty is? Like,
What is crafty?
I think of raw
With the
food.
hands.
Crafty. Oh, good with crafts.
Well, I don't know if they mean it that way. Does it mean skillful?
Sewing and
Or does
like
it mean
good
skillful, I think.
I think
Yeah,
it is
and
clever.
dexterity.
Maybe
Like
thinking of
clever.
schemes or something like that?
Crafty.
Yeah.
Figure things out.
But crafty generally has a negative connotation to it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it said poor and crafty. They kind of... One more to go. Lugna?
Moon,
Moon Lugna? I mean, Moon
is in
Moon
Capricorn,
Rashi.
and it goes to Gemini. So that's the 8th, no 6th. 6th house.
Moon's in Gemini?
Moon's in Capricorn and Rashi, and it goes to Gemini.
Lives in Capricorn, goes to Gemini, so it's 6? Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the-
The native will possess a splendorous body, will attire charmingly. He's wearing jeans, I don't know if that's charmingly. Have a strong libido, will possess small and even teeth.
That we can
Yeah,
see.
They're small and even.
Yeah, they are.
Be a good speaker, and will have big cheeks and a large forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay.
And the Lagna is in, it's in Gemini, and it goes to Taurus. I think it's in the 8th house.
What's everyone else
Yeah.
say? Don't get lazy on me. What's everyone else say? You agree? You sure?
Say it again?
Yeah.
It's in Gemini, Narashi, and goes to
Then-
Taurus.
The native will be dark in complexion, be great, intelligent, soft in disposition, sweet in speech, will have broad physique, large black eyes, and will be an expert in arts. You've got pretty dark eyes.
Yeah.
Both of them are pretty good for you.
Yeah.
What kind of arts do you do?
Well, I mean, Jyotish is an art, you know.
Oh, those kind of arts.
It's there's 64 arts, you know. So
Really? Okay.
interesting. Everybody agree that was, you know,
Saravali?
just sometimes these old things, you gotta use them or else they just won't make sense. And so what we get percentage-wise here? So who said that it really fit them? Mine fits me really good, so we got 1, 2, 3. We got you, Mo, right?
Just the moon though.
Yeah, mine was
Well, just
more
at
than-
least one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, moon fits really well.
So if it's
So
more
1,
than
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And who it didn't fit?
And you were 10.
Oh, I didn't count me?
How many didn't then? Didn't.
1,
Three.
2, 3,
Four.
4.
Not bad.
And I think they needed rectification anyway,
So it's a pretty good.
So that was pretty good.
70%.
It was, yeah, 70%. Not bad.
Good experiment.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely one worth, you know,